Do we truly understand what exactly has been happening in Borno State?
Well, those who have the power to do something, they are not interested. The crisis started back in 2009. We all know what they said then. Before then, there was no crisis in Borno. But when whatever local contradiction came about, they went and killed them, destroyed their houses, and so on and so forth. Then went on a witch hunt for whoever was associated with that enclave used to be. And then the people went there and regrouped and whatever. When they were attacking the place, they didn't bother to either circle the place, arrest everybody, interview them, interrogate them, identify, create their identity and find out exactly who they were. No, people dispersed to all directions of the world, and one day a regroup and decide to take revenge. So this little revenge was ignored, and that was not the first time anyway. When Metasine 32 years ago did the same, nobody bothered to find out who were supporters of Metasine. They scattered all over. Then they regroup again, and so. But the other issue is, even if those who are elected to be arrested, we say we have no law about terrorism. So nobody is taken to court. You don't hear anything. When you shoot them, they tell us they arrested so and so, or they killed so and so. But killing that number doesn't mean anything, because people have forgotten. When America was waging war of aggression in Vietnam, in order to dismiss the humanity out of it, you say you killed so and so Viet Cong gorillas. Gorilla, is a monkey in the bush. So when you say Viet Cong gorillas, it doesn't associate a human being, Mr. X or Mrs. Y. So when you now say you killed 52 Boko Haram in Maiduguri, and you are jubilating, but you didn't tell us exactly how many of your own were also taken. But it doesn't matter. These are not ordinary census figures. You just see figures. They are human beings, if they are. If it's true, you kill 52. These 52 belong to the extended family, Nigerian extended family. Are you creating a conducive atmosphere? Okay, now, sorry, before I land, you mentioned the JTF. I don't really oppose JTF. JTF is a child of circumstance. But the issue is very simple. Any country that does not have this civilian system of control, which is local police, and you have to drag the matter to the army. The army, by their tradition, by their training, they are not really to be in charge of civilian peace control. If you are familiar with the military tactics, when you go for weapon training, there's a target you aim at. That target really is meant to be a human heart, the chest of a human being, or the head where the brain is. That's what an army officer, every sharpshooter, that's what you aim at. So there is nothing like shoot somebody in the leg to cripple the person so you can arrest him later. And anytime you touch one soldier, the entire army think that they have a duty for self-defense. So we don't have this system in Nigeria where in case there is some crisis, you bring the army into it and they behave themselves like the problem in New Orleans, where America has to mobilize everybody, including soldiers, to go and rescue victims of flooding and disaster. We don't have that one. This one is army of conquest. Anytime they come, whether it is Zaki Bian, whether it is Odi, Nigerian army is Nigerian army any day. So when you take them to Maiduguri, you ask them, there's a crisis, immediately they see a small bomb somewhere. They go and round off the whole area, terrorize everybody. The people who are being arrested are not the real people who did all the crisis, who caused the terrorism, whatever. They're ordinary people.
If you allow me to comment here, because
that's the problem.
You just touched on some other issue in trying to analyze this whole matter. You talked about Metasine and how it went on the ground until this date. The nation has not come up to say these were the sponsors of that particular group and the crisis which they fomented at that point in time. But we've seen some kind of headway from some of the security agencies, and some names have been mentioned quite recently, and some cases are already in court. And you talked about the lack of a proper legal law, a proper law with which to try these people on. But don't you think that we have some people who shield those people? Because yesterday we were talking with Max Beniti and we brought up the issue of talking about faceless persons. We've heard politicians' names being mentioned, and some of them still walk around even though they say a man is innocent until proven guilty. But looks like the government and the people of the nation seem to be having a headway by having to mention some key individuals associated with this particular group.
Well, I'm not sure if that is really absolutely correct. Mentioning people doesn't mean anything. Prosecuting them successfully, charging them on the right head where the law can really pin them down is a different issue. Anybody you pick there, you either pick him because of politics, political consideration, and you end up in a cul-de-sac. Picking people now is not more than picking petroleum subsidies scam candidates who really have a lot of money to hire a senior advocate to go and argue their case. But the real problem on the ground, when you're talking of that Maiduguri, Potiskum, Damatur axis, people have been terrorized by both ends. The people who are supposed to safeguard their interests, who are supposed to rescue them from the so-called terror, and the terrorism themselves. The terrorists are picking people who they think, in their perception, collaborate with the authorities to come and pick their relations. So they punish those people who do that. And the government agents go to any particular place where something happens. The whole area stands accused. And how do you are a victim, and you are being terrorized for not cooperating to bring the attacker or whatever it is.
Good, that's the question. But don't you think that the people of Borno or other places where these groups have been operating, the people there are actually shielding these same people? Because I remember once you were on the program and you told us about the peaceful nature in the then Borno state, to the extent that you say almost everyone knows the next man in the next house. How come the people haven't been able to actually help in fighting these terrors among their midst?
You see, if you accuse Borno Yobe people or people in the northeastern part of Nigeria of anything, somebody is not being fair. Ordinary kidnappers, where kidnapping is taking place, some people suspect a particular individual responsible. Armed robbers, we know them. Some people know who an armed robber was, or from his accent, they have an idea is somebody in their neighborhood who probably masked himself to come and attack his neighbors. But the trouble is, you go and report to the police. Police have a relationship with the culprit. Then you become a victim. So if the people in those places who have been taken hostage for 4 years now or something like that, or thereabout, and the slightest that happens, they come and attack them. The people who are supposed to rescue them, they are not in a hurry to rescue anybody. So you are accused of reporting our colleague or our brother or our sister or whatever to be picked, and therefore you pay for it. Nobody is securing anybody. In other climes, you are given a special identity, your confidentiality is religiously maintained. Nobody knows who it is. You have a hotline or something, you call a particular number. The number cannot be traced to anyone. You give information. Here you give information at your own peril. This is the problem. Unless Nigerian government and Nigerian security agencies have a way of solving this problem, building confidence, then I'm sorry, we have problems.